Come on along with Charles and me. We're gonna take you on guitar safari. So grab a cup of hot coffee. Hey, you forgot about me, you dick. And Sherman 2, one volume, one tone.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Right.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Guitar Safari with your host, Charles and Seth, and our producer, Sherman. Can't forget Sherman. Don't want to leave Sherman out. All right, so do you know who's in the chat already, Seth?
Herb.
Herb is already in the chat. Herb was our first. Herb of Fireside Studios first in the chat. Michael Krause came in and he said, "Damn time zones! I'll be back in an hour." And so we'll see if he comes on back. And then, of course, we've got Cushman NYC. Hello there. We've got Sean Hockley. Hello there. Let's see. We got Martin from L&M Guitar Corner. Welcome.
Martin.
And let's see, who else do we have? We have Martian Murray. We have the Ben Coombs. Gotta love it when he shows up. And
he's a guitar.
Now there's another guy from Texas in the chat. Do you know who that is?
Ferd
Burfel. Very good. You're getting good at this. All right, welcome everybody, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Guitar Safari, which is really our only edition, right? Because it's the only day we do Guitar Safari.
And Safari is happening at all times.
This is
because a guy told me that just this random guy, he's kind of weird. Anyway, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, I was with my wife, and I just was doing some stuff, and a guitar followed me home." And I said to myself, that's something that would happen on Safari, but it would be like a panther guitar that would come and hunt you and kill you and rip your throat out. But in this case, I think it was a vintage guitar that may eventually come and kill this person and rip their throat out.
It might be. It just might be.
Since we were going to talk vintage and we were going to talk new, and I just wanted to ask the chat before we even get going. It's the imaginary Venmo or PayPal payment. This is an imaginary one. I sent everybody $5,000. Okay, so look in your imaginary PayPal and think how you're going to spend it right now. Are you going to go vintage or are you going to go new? And let's just say here, you can break it up. It's your $5,000. It's your $5,000 from Imaginary Guitar Safari's account to you. And where are you going to spend it? That's what we want to know, because if you have better ideas than us, we plan on taking your ideas.
Of course.
That's the okay. Sorry, Charles.
That's the whole purpose behind the show, right? For
reel it on in. Exactly.
All right, so we've got some developments in our chat. We have River Docs has joined us. Welcome, River Docs. Good morning to you. And we have the William De Silva.
William.
And if you have not been checking out William's channel, please do. If you've not been checking out Ben Coombs, if you've not been checking out River Docs, if you've not been checking out L&M Guitar Corner, you are missing out, people. Hello, Ryan Hall.
What's up, Ryan Hall?
How you doing, buddy?
I think it's funny that our channel ends up being like a hangout for people that have like a lot of followers where like they're I don't know. Thank you guys for showing up, because you guys are all hella cool. Blackjack. See, all these people. I have 111 followers and I need a plea today. Please, if you're not in it, I need you to unsubscribe, because we're getting beyond the bus amount that we're going to SEMA.
So if nothing else, folks, go ahead. I'm putting the link to Seth's channel here in the chat. Go ahead and sub him out of spite.
Unsubscribe.
Sub him out of spite, folks. Sub him out of spite.
Hey, so this fella I was talking about, do you know that dude?
I might have. I think I might have met him somewhere.
Well, explain. Go further, please.
All right. So I had taken my wife.
Explain yourself, Charles. Explain yourself to the community, okay? Because we need to hear these kind of excuses. It followed me home, which I thought was a fantastic way of describing it.
All right, well, here's the story. Last week, my wife was sick, and it had been 4 days, and we'd done the COVID test, and she was clean on the COVID test, and so she was getting better every day, but the cough wouldn't go away, and it just became really annoying. And it says, okay, well, we're gonna go take her in, make sure it isn't COVID for sure. Because we did 2 tests and they both came up negative. And so we took her down to the doc. I took the day off of work, which I'll never do, right? And I took the day off of work and we went down, took her to the doctor, went through all that. And they said, look, they tested her for everything. And they said, look, it's just a random virus. It's none of the big ones going around. It will clear up on its own in about a week. And they're like, okay. And so we just, since I was already off, we made a day of running around and doing stuff, and happened into my favorite pawn shop that has probably the best guitars in town of all the pawn shops in town.
Okay, and, hold on one second. When you say happened into, okay, I love you, but I got to know what was the distance from the medical appointment to said pawn shop?
Oh, it's
across the street. Was it a mile? Was it
no. It's all the way back by my house. It's actually the closest pawn shop to my house.
So you just hit it on the way home. I got you.
Right. So I've got to drive by my street, right? Drive by the main street to go to this pawn shop. And so, I sit there. I drove by. My wife says, "Where are you going?" I said, "I just want to stop in and see." No, I just want to stop in and check something out. And so we go in there, and I was looking to see what they had. And so I got caught on this Mexican Fender, but I pull it down off the wall, and it appears really to be a Mexican Fender neck on a Squier Affinity body. The body isn't the right proportions. It's not the right thing.
Yeah, thinner.
Yeah. And so I just had to do that. And so I put that back up, and I'm like, I talked to the guy that I know that knows guitars there, right? And I said,
do you remember the price on the MIM?
It was $4 or $5 something. It was cheap. It is like, so it was on sale. They haven't been able to get rid of it. And that's why, because it's really a Squier. I think other people are saying that as well. And then I was looking at another guitar, and I don't even remember what it was, but I kind of liked it. But then it had all kinds of things wrong with it. It's like you could tell the bridge had been replaced. The pickguard was missing pickguard screws. And so it's like, okay, this isn't what it's supposed to be either. And then there was a Squier Jazzmaster that I liked. It was in white. And I was like, okay, I don't have an offset like that. That would be kind of cool. And I was trying to get them to come down on the price on that, and they weren't budging on that. And so I'm getting ready to walk out. And something I had just walked by and hadn't thought, didn't even consider, because I already have a hollow body, right? And I already have a hollow body in this color. But then I looked at it one more time, and let me solo myself out, and I'll just show you what I saw.
Da-da-da. Here we go.
All right, so it is a 70s Univox. Now, they have it labeled as a 72, but it can't be a 72 because it's made in Japan. And they didn't start making these in Japan until 75.
Huh.
So, but it is.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
It's in great shape. It, of course, you get all the surface scratches, right?
Of course.
The only thing that is going to have to be done on it are the tuners, because these just are not working well. They hold tune, but it's like constant tweaking, right?
Yeah, just get rid of them. Just get a really good set. That's a fantastic guitar.
Exactly.
And while everything's apart, go over, what anything else that needs to get done.
And you know me, I don't really care for bridge pickups too much. Bridge pickup on this, I absolutely love.
I was watching Tim Pierce yesterday, and he was talking about playing over his bridge pickup, and something he does is just be very conscious of his pick attack, and it goes much lighter when he's on the bridge, and he feels like he has a lot more liberty to really dig on the neck pickup more frequently. But of course he digs on the bridge pickup too, but I was interested by that. Like, every time I switch to the bridge, I kind of think of, all right, time to rock, let's do this. But I should be thinking time to rock, but to get the clarity I want, let's lighten up a little.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got Hansel of 36 coming into the chat, and also Rico B.
What up, Rico B? It's hot AF where Rico B is too. He's suffering.
Yes,
He's in Arizona.
Yes, it is
tough.
Well,
so is also out in the heat death wave. You guys are going to hate me because if you watch the news and you know about the San Francisco microclimate, I'm right where the fog comes in. So at night it gets down to 56 degrees. So you have to cool down. It's crazy, right? It's what's kind of, you have to pay the price of living here in the North Bay. But that's so beautiful. And then it heats up to unbelievably hot to where you're like at the middle of the day. But anyway.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, buddy.
Charles, how much of your $5,000 is left?
Well,
I'm. Oh wait, you don't have to actually tell us. I know how.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that, but we did get a deal. Okay, we didn't pay all the money.
Right, of course not.
Okay,
but there was money paid.
But this $5,000 wasn't on the table when this purchase was made, so it is not eligible for the $5,000.
Not even in the picture, right? So you get to go a whole new direction with your $5,000.
Now there was hey, Randy Crooks, welcome to the chat, buddy.
What up, Randy?
And Randy says he buys guitars when they speak to him. Sometimes they speak to him for a long time, and sometimes for just a short time. That's true. And like you said, this one followed me home. That's all I'm saying.
Followed you home. Nothing you could do. It was basically just.
Like it told me. It told me you're going to buy me.
I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's epic.
And so it was interesting because I was with my wife, and my wife is only half on board with the whole guitar thing. Like when I'm making them and selling them, she's completely on board. When I'm buying them for myself, what do you need another one for? And so I had to make 2 deals at the pawn shop. One with the wife.
Okay.
One with the pawn shop.
I would say this, that the money that was spent on that guitar just got put in a place, right? It's now just in that guitar. It's not gone. You didn't like go and spend your money on 5 days at a water theme park. Yay, wee! And then all your money's gone. You have this guitar now. And in 5 years, you'll be able to sell that probably for more than, or in an emergency, you would be able to sell it and get liquid cash quickly for just a small loss. So it's a good thing to have. It's a good asset to have.
Right. And so, in this, it's, it looks a lot like my Firefly 338 in terms of look. It's the same black thing. It's the same hollow body kind of thing. But it sounds completely different. Right, pickups are completely different, and so it does a different thing. So it's got a place.
A lot more clear.
Going back to our topic though, because we promised a topic here, and so going back to our $5,000. Sean Hockley said on the chat early on, "Hey guys, with $5,000, I want to try out the Kiesel Builder." Right, where you can go ahead and you design your, one hell of a guitar here for $5,000. So that is definitely a way to go.
And here's the thing, dude, that you might be able to do it for $3,000 and take the other $2,000 and get an amp. You know what I mean? Because I think that you could get out the door for like $3,000 or $3,500 with them, or even with Music Man. Custom order, they might be closer to the $5,000. A really nice Music Man. And
Martin asked a question. He says, $5,000 stuff I own or stuff in addition to what you already own. This is a $5,000 for you to spend, Martin. So whatever you want. The stuff you have already doesn't even matter.
Nope. This is a gift, an imaginary $5,000.
So what would you do with it?
To spend on whatever.
And so I'm basically going back through the chat to get the contributions of what's already come in that way. And Rick Slick is in the chat, and he came in at 11:04, and he's going to go for new, and he's thinking maybe a Ritter base.
Oh, like high dollar. What about a Zon? If you're spending $5,000, get a Zon, Zon, the best that exists. But hey, get a Ritter if that's what you're into too. I feel you. No doubt. But I'm also going new. I'm going new. I'm not going vintage with my $5,000. Not doing it. Because I've got a couple of vintage guitars, and I've purchased a couple that I had and sold, and kind of, it is a place where you can park your money. I did okay on my purchases. I didn't lose money on any vintage guitar purchase ever, but I don't know, dude. I think that I right now would want to go new. Here's what I thought the other day. Tell me what you think about this. Fender has made enough guitars. There's enough guitars in the universe with the name Fender on it. Leo Fender died. Leo Fender sold the company a long time ago before he died. And it's been shareholders and money makers and decisions. Mind you, they've kept a lot of people employed, and they've kept a lot of guitars coming out. But if they stopped tomorrow and there was no more Fenders, it would be okay. It would be okay.
It's an interesting idea. But yeah, I mean, you think about it. The thing that Leo Fender did for guitars was that idea of you could put together a guitar from different parts, right? You didn't let that neck wasn't working for you. Okay, let's replace the neck, right? Your frets are worn out, you can replace it. And that was kind of the the advantage. And that
assembly line modular body was his. Yeah, he was very Henry Ford of the guitar, right?
And I think maybe that's why Fenders tend to appeal to me more than something that is Gibson based usually, because I like to tinker with things. And so things that I can switch out, and, the more I can do with something, the more flexibility I have, the better. It's kind of the way that my mind works out of that. We missed Mark's gas station when he came into the chat. So I want to welcome Mark's gas station. Appreciate it. Mark. Yeah. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, Riverdocs has added Seth to his featured channels.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. But hopefully that doesn't get us too much traffic, because I have to keep saying, come on, we gotta.
So, Martin, I hope I've answered your questions on that. So, yeah, don't worry about the stuff you already have. It is, what would you buy now?
What are you spending your imaginary $5,000 on? Are you buying vintage gear? Which I haven't even really looked at the prices. They were kind of skyrocketing and out of control for a while during the whole guitar-demic. And now that that's past, kind of the, COVID's gone, all that free money is gone. And things are kind of cooled out. I see a lot of Mexican Fenders, like you said, for, the ones I see are more $700, but that's back in the realm of reality, not, $1,000 for a.
Yeah. And Martin, yes, you can go with those Reverb sold prices.
Yeah, totally. I'm just kind of going on what I know things cost, because I kind of looked at newer stuff. Not that I was going to buy anything, but we looked at stuff.
I love it when you're going back through the chat trying to get those contributions, right? Making sure you're hitting everything. And I came across this comment from Ben. He says, Charles, give your wife my number. I'll talk to her.
We'll have a consult line that we can just help each other out with. I always just say buy a lot of empty guitar cases and just fill them up on the download.
Yeah, well, I've got cases that might be hiding guitars. I'm just saying.
Yeah, when I moved out of my house in Novato, I found a couple of guitars. Well, I found one guitar that I thought that I gave it away or did something, and then I found it. I was like, oh wow, you got a problem when you're finding guitars that you didn't remember.
Well, see, that's the thing. I remember where mine are, and that's when you get to that level of, okay, am I going to get to that level where I forget I own a guitar? Right? It's like, okay. I don't know. That is such a strange concept to me. Billy Baloney, welcome. He came in a while back as well. Welcome. And Herba Fireside Studio says he'd like to try to find a red Kramer from the 80s, maybe in a used SM1 in red.
That's what I had, was a Kramer. That's why one of Ben's guitars, Ben being a hero, I had a Kramer Striker 6000 ST. So it was like the top end with the Floyd and the single hum and the 3 single switches for the pickups. Oh, I love that guitar.
I'm getting back into comments for about 5 minutes ago, and Monch says, "Good afternoon, guys. For $5K, he'd find himself a 1964 Melody Maker D and still have about 1,500 to play with."
Yeah, exactly. And that at that money, you can just go to the water park, for like 2 days or whatever, or do whatever.
Mark, you can use that $5K in addition to your existing rig.
Yeah, if you already got your amp and you already got your stuff, yeah. But this is just that if we're spending imaginary $5K, I could do this all day long.
And then Michael B. Live, welcome, Michael B. Live. He says, an American-made Music Man bass, 2H type.
One of the sweetest purchase that like you could. But here's the thing: if you're going to spend the $5, dude, you could probably ring them up and say, here's what I love about these, unless you really wanted a vintage one. But you could say, here's what I love about these, and have them make you like a custom shop, brand new one. It'd be pretty
That's
cool.
an interesting idea as well.
Yeah. Here's what I love about the vintage.
Hello, Janice. Sorry about that.
It's all good. What's up, Janice? She's been playing out, hopefully, doing her songs out live. I almost went to an open mic, but it was canceled because they had a concert going on. But I went to the concert because it was my friend's band again.
There you go.
So
Ben Cole says he doesn't think he could get a vintage guitar he would like for $5K.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think Ben's looking for specific things too, right? And so,
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, $5K was kind of a limiter if you're going like, because when you go vintage, it goes up
real quickly. Yeah.
Because yeah, you get to the point where like, oh man, I would kind of would like a early 60s, because 50s is kind of uneven reachable, but like an early 60s Strat, you know, a 50 Strat if you're a super baller, but come on.
Well, Martian Murray says he keeps seeing MIJ offsets he wants, and so that, you know, some of that $5 is going to go for some of those, apparently. All right, so
3 guitars, you could get 3 cool offsets, and you know, because here's the thing with those, you're just saving your money. You're saving your money. They're not. I don't see those going drastically down. I admit that with my purchases, I would be losing a little bit of the drive off value, because when you buy something new versus, you know, but I'm buying with my $5 just what I want and what I would never be able to buy unless an imaginary $5 came in, and it was earmarked for guitars when it came. Wouldn't that be a cool thing to do if you were rich, like super rich, and just as a fuck for giggles, like find people that love guitar and send them $5 out of the blue, earmarked, they can only spend it on guitars, and just see how much fun that would be. If I like giving stuff away, it's just kind of something I do that gives me joy. So if I was rich like that, I would probably do that. That would be cool. Like these people that do the you ever seen the TikToks or the shorts where they're in the store and they're like, "Hi, would you lend me $1 to buy this sandwich?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll give you $1." And like, here, I actually didn't. I want to see if you would help me here. I'll give you $500. The same people that do that, if we could get a Guitar World person that like sees somebody and like, "Oh, here's $5 for your rig."
That would be cool.
Ooh. It would be cool. It would take a big ass channel. It could have to be Beato sized channel to do that.
Yeah, let's see. Back into the chat. I love the way Martin thinks, because he's always working on how to get where he wants to go, right? And he says he would probably sell a few more things and get the 1966 ES 335 from Real Guitars in San Francisco for $7K. So
You know
he's
what?
gonna sell a few more things. He's going to pick up 2 more K, and he's going to go get that 66 ES 335. I approve of that purchase.
And then he's going to take it over to San Francisco Guitar Works and drop it off for a plec. And Jeff will take care of him and get that thing tip top. No matter, vintage instruments sometimes just need that little deal. But when you're spending $7,000, what's another $350?
Yep. And then Randy Crux, he saw Tesla last night, and the opening act was the Bullet Boys. And
Bullet Boys,
it was a fun show. There were a lot of Gibsons and a couple Fender things being played.
Mm-hmm.
And then our buddy Michael Krause did make it back in, and I love this answer. He is tempted to do one expensive guitar, right? And so it would probably buy a Reverend Space Hawk and Ibanez Fireman and a Baja Telly, with the leftover money spent on Squires. So he's splitting both sides of that. Love it.
Oh, that's funny. We haven't had anybody say that they would buy. How many could you get? 500 Squires for $5,000 if you hunted if you safaried your ass off. You could probably end up with 500 Squires for your $5,000. Wait, is my math that bad, or is it 50? It's 50.
I'm ignoring the math right now. I'm just ignoring the math because I'm watching the chat and looking where we're going next.
I'm ignoring the math too, obviously. But you could buy a lot of freaking Squires.
And Herb has updated his purchase order. He says, well, if you can spend it on something other than guitar, he also wants the Friedman BE 100.
Absolutely on a different, so here's the thing. A lot of our crew has already got killer. Actually, I would almost guess that all of our crew has got killer guitars already. That has got something pretty awesome. And then if you want to just dial your tone in a different direction with an amp, I could probably use a different amp at some point. I've been really just playing my Peavey Classic 30 for a long time, which is great because it's my tone, but I haven't broke out my Mesa half stack in like a year, and that thing's super versatile. It's a Nomad 50, and it's maybe time for it to come back into it. It's loud though. It needs to be attenuated, but maybe time to get that back in the game.
Get it back in circulation a little bit. Yeah, I like that.
I'm moving in. Movers are booked for Thursday, my brother, and family community here. So I'll be in my new house up on the hill, and then I'll start developing the new workshop separate from the store.
So time to notify the roadies, right?
No, actually we hired with the help of Jane, Frank, my mom, and my dad, Nick, my new stepdad, Nick. They called us up and said, Seth, you're pretty old and we're worried about how terrible your body is in condition. So we would prefer it if you would have more qualified and maybe even handsomer people move the stuff so Sarah can enjoy it and so you don't have to do it. I was like, okay. So I think Sarah, she called shirt off moving, or like oiled down movers or something, and probably paid extra. No, I'm kidding. We called Ahmed's moving.
Oh boy, I'm not even going there. I'm just
saying. Hey, you know what? There's another idea. We got Winnebago, and we got shirt off movers. All right, I'm telling you, that's to our community. Make it happen. Just bringing me in the mix. I want to be on the board.
Yeah, that is something else.
That's the other side. It's the gear side, and then the Winnebago. What's in the chat?
I'm so struggling to get back on task now. But yes, well, I'm so glad that move is coming. That it is that close for you. That's awesome. And I love Keith H because he's already spent his $5K. He had his list ready to go. He's getting a new Explorer, a Flying V, a Japanese Telecaster, and he's happy.
Okay, he can do it. Yeah.
And then
Wow.
Ben Coombs adds in he'd get a Friedman amp and a Vox AC15 for $5K.
He was loving that AC15 that he did those awesome reviews at Long and McQuaid. They better be. I mean, not better be, but I hope that they're taking care of him, at least with strings or whatever it is, because it's a lot of people seeing those Long and McQuaid reviews, and even if it's just in one store, the name is national for Canada, I think, right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, they definitely are. There's some taking care of some things there. I think.
Well, it's nice too, probably when you walk in, that you could just go and also put your hands on all these guitars, make some videos, and they respect that. Because I can imagine there's some people that are out there trying to do it, and they're getting run off by Guitar Center, or don't make a video here, go buy your own guitar if you want to review it, blah blah blah. Instead of being cool about it and being like, wow, you have a community of people that see it. And even if, I'm in California, I'm not going to go to Long and McQuaid, but I'll tell you this, because of what I see happening, I've got a better taste in my mouth about who they are. And if somebody in Canada said, oh, where should my son buy their first Squier? I'd say, well, Long and McQuaid.
There you go. Love
or
it.
I would probably say find a local small shop first. And then if you can't, go to Long and McQuaid. Or if you're completely just newbie green person, send them to the big stores.
Yeah, depends on how much of a choice you need, right? If you're, it's always good to go with those with the local mom and pop store if you can. But when you go there, realize that your selection might be a little more limited if you go into the big box. And so,
right,
it's if you can support that local business and they have what you want, that's the way to go. So it's about finding that comfortable medium between the two of those things. Cushman says he'd have a custom built Les Paul style, but with some modern changes to it, right?
Yeah. There's a couple companies. There's like is it Bernie that makes? I've seen a couple that were like custom shop Gibsons, not made by Gibson, but almost like they had been licensed because they were so Gibson-y, and they were Murphy Lab-ish, like expensive guitars, and they were really good. Well, you take, good wood, build a good guitar, put in good pickups, play it through a good amp, done.
See, I love this community too, because when Ben talked about getting the 2 amps for $5,000, Michael Krause came back and said, Ben, why not that ES 175 you're always talking about? And Martin jumped in with, well, I don't think you can get a 175 for $5K. And
I was interested in the RJ Ronquillo played a ES guitar that was from Guitar Fetish that was like $350 with no sound holes in it that looked pretty cool. Maybe just grab one of those to
just to satisfy the itch for now.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, if you want a 175 in really great condition, $5,000 might be a stretch. It might not be enough. And welcome, Ryan. Ryan from OU812. Good morning to you, my friend. And if you're not watching the boys over at OU812, you need to get yourself over there now. Oh my God. The playing they're doing now with each other, in where they're taking 4 bars each and just playing this, it's phenomenal. If you have not been by there, get yourself over there. I'm just saying.
Shredding.
It's just all kinds of fun. They had Quentin James on the other night, and it was a really just a great show. And
Who's a very soft-spoken guy from, I don't know, he's from overseas, England or something, but he is a shredder, and then he sends out a chord progression, and everybody, all the famous people play on it. That guy is.
It's not ringing a bell to me right now.
I'll send you one of the videos because I watched it, and oh my God, it makes you feel so good when you hear different interpretations over the same chords. Like
and this is what the folks were doing, right? This is what they were doing. They would take 4 bars and each would have their own take on it, and then there was some building off of each other too, and it was really kind of cool.
And 4 bars is a smaller snippet like that.
Yeah.
You really have to be following along to where they're going to be and what you're going to do. That's great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like blues, but it's faster paced.
Yeah, and we have a challenge from Ben Coombs. Ben Coombs says, Charles asked me what I found in a box the other day. So, Ben, what did you find in a box?
What did you find in the box? All right.
Now we're waiting for it.
Well, it's okay. So for my $5,000, I'm going to start.
All right.
I am going to buy a couple of guitars, a couple of ones that I've really wanted. I'm going to buy, there was a guitar that when I stopped working at Guitar Works, I wanted to buy because it was built by the owner, Jeff Luttrell. And I was going to be able to probably get it for about $1,000. But when you're trying to scrounge out an extra $1,000 right when you're leaving one job to become a teacher and your pay is not going to be stellar or whatever, I held off on buying it. So I regret not buying that one. That's $1,000 I would spend. And then I would spend another $2,500 to $3,000 on a Todd Nichols custom built. It would be one of his, he's going to call them not road worn, but it's going to be like bus driven or something like that, because he's going to be the ones that he takes on the road and like really beats. They're like $3,000, $3,500. So that would bring me up to like $4,500. And with the extra $500, I would get a Starbucks gift card.
There you go. There you go.
A really big one.
Yeah. I really like that. And so Ben Coombs, he decided that his answer might need some more research. And so he went shopping and he found a 90s ES 175 for about $5,000. So he's changing his answer. So I'm so far back in the chat. I'm so sorry. That is awesome.
That is great, right?
Yeah. So and then he came back and told me that I'm going to have to wait till tonight on his show to find out what was in the box.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, everybody should be there tonight.
Make sure you're there on Ben's show tonight and find out what's in the box.
It's 5:00 here in California when I watch his show, Ben's show, and that's when the gummies come out to play. And that's when, because it's my Sunday night, man. I'm chilling. I'm full. And actually, this is Sunday night for a guy who's on extended vacation for the first time in his life for a while. I'm loving this. Do I look happier? Do I look well rested? Because I'm telling you,
look well rested. I'll give you that. Yeah. So,
oh my God.
Ryan's going to be over with his mother tonight, so he's not sure whether he's going to be listening. Ryan, I hope some mom is certainly doing well. Hope it's just a good visit. Yeah. And
so Ben's stuff is fun on replay too. I mean, it's because the comments, they read into the comments and you can follow along. I think a day after it starts to populate.
But it's those things like you love to be in the live, right? In the live.
Totally.
And but Seth does say that our show is 25% funnier on replay. So
absolutely funnier because you can rewind and wow, what was that? Right, exactly.
Okay, so and Martian Murray's been looking too, and he says he can't find the 60s Jazzmaster for under $10,000.
Ooh.
That hurts. That hurts. Keep stalking.
Holy crap! That's a lot of money for a Jazzmaster. He couldn't spend that kind of money. Sherman was, born in China, and then raised in a McDonald's bag. So he just can't spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
$10,000. That's kind of like
that's steep. That's steep.
Where is it? It's just gone insane. For what year though? I'm sorry. What year was
60s,
it?
A 60s.
A 60s. Is it a 67 or is it a 62?
He's just saying 60s. That's all he's saying. But there's
it's probably nice. It's probably nice.
These next two comments you need to hear. So let me get through them. Because you especially the second one is It's going to be important.
Okay.
All right. So Martin is rethinking his idea a little bit here because he's saying more realistically, is it that I probably look for a 2015 to 2018 ES 335 Studio like he already owns to have as a backup, and that would probably take 2.3K off from it, with the rest going to a good PC and there is no anything after the and. So he's really spending some time thinking about what he's going to do with this 5K.
Well, I love the fact that this. Oh, go ahead. All right, I'm so quiet. Go ahead. Second one.
Okay, so second one, Rico B. Are you sitting down? Okay, you may want to brace yourself in the chair.
I got two handles on my chair.
It's
a ghetto dumpster chair. Go ahead.
Okay. Hold on tight, because here it comes. Rico B says, I'd spend 2.5K on a new Presley California custom hardtail Strat and 2.5K on a Charles 75 Intelli.
Well, hold on. What are you going to do with your other 1.5K that I send you back with your Presley Strat? Because I'm only going to charge you $1,000, and it's going to come in a nice tweed case, and it's going to be shiny and new, and I will have built it with love and a little bit of weed.
There you go.
You know, that's amazing, Rico. That's why we love you. And you know what?
Exactly.
We do this for the long term, and at some point, we're all going to be sitting a little bit prettier, and then everybody be like, "Yeah, I got to get me a Presley. They're only $1,000."
You know,
I'm not going to buy another stupid Fender.
And the thing is, that's not a plant, folks. It's not a plant. It wasn't prearranged. Rico, we really appreciate that. That's such a warm thought. Yeah. I really appreciate that. Oh, and the and on Martin's was studio monitors for recording, including a better license for his DAW.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
Better
Billy
monitor.
Maloney says 5K, a Les Paul, and a new amp. Les Paul Jr., and a new amp.
Yeah, I was going to ask what kind of Les Paul, because you can be $5,000 deep on a cool Les Paul.
Yeah, he's talking about a Junior, yeah. And Ryan of OU812 says 5K. He said he'd have to save up another couple K and get a Murphy Labs ultralight aged Les Paul custom. Oh, okay.
Hey, can I, since everybody's jumping around a little bit, I'm going to be real quick, but can I jump in and say what I would get if I did get something vintage? Because
Sure.
if I got something vintage, it would be and I don't know if I could afford it for 5K. I might have to sell some stuff. It would be a white, Alpine white 70s SG, but with SG custom with 2 pickups, bound headstock, bound neck. It might only be available with 3 pickups, but we could remedy that with the pick guard. But that's what I would want, like all faded out in yellow, kind of with the, you know, how the binding and all that gets all yellowy. I would love that. If I was going to go vintage, that would be a white SG. Totally. I think I'm going to build one anyway. I'm going to get there.
Martin, before you sell that Baja Telly, you better talk to me, my friend. I'm just saying. I saw something in the chat. It had me worried.
Love a Baja Telly. So good.
And let's see. Hip Metalworks has come into the chat a while back, and I missed it. I want to say hello to Ken. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I thought that amp wall was real the other night when he was on the chat. I was like, I'm saying, that might have been the help of the gummy.
When you look quick, it is convincing.
Like, man, that amp wall is so amazing. What's that one down in the? And as I was like typing it in, his screen went, and it came back, and it was a green screen or a blue screen. I was like, oh shit.
I love it.
But that's great. Totally had me fooled.
Hey, when you first look at it, it's convincing. It is convincing. Monch has he says he supposes if we're all dreaming, he get one of those Univox Aquaria multi-scale 29 fret 8 strings like Alexandra Zerner had made. And those things he says have mad range. So yeah.
Mad range.
And I know there are a bunch of words in there that I pronounce nowhere near what they sound like, but that's what you got.
Zerner. I know that name.
Oh. And Han Solo 36 says he's got enough guitars, 70s to new. He would get recording equipment, Roland E drums, etc., and a bunch of $200 Jacksons and Creamers and Squires to fix up to give the nieces, nephews, and other kids. I like your style.
I don't think we mentioned that with the $5,000, like this is the imaginary gift from Guitar Safari that has come to the Venmo or the PayPal. And if you got everything you need for tone, dude, you can buy a hot tub. You're right. That's cool. $5,000, get a hot tub. $5,000, you know, get a new paint job on the hot rod, whatever. If you got your tone, then you're stoked. I kind of have my tone a little bit, but I have a couple of things that I really want. If I'm honest with myself, I would feel guilty if I was spending $5,000 because I don't really need the things that I want. But I still want a couple of things because they're more of a life goal than a need. Definitely not a need. Look at all the guitars around me, dude. You know, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. And welcome, Bo. We're Guitar Man 45. We're glad that you came in. And Phil S. Norwich Guitar. And Bo says he can't find a decent 175 ES 175 for under $5K. So talk to Ben. He found one. So maybe you guys can have a conversation there. Well, you know, I didn't tell anybody what I would get.
Yeah, no, we're getting into it. So what's up?
All right. I would go note because because vintage, I need to put my hands on it. I like the idea of a vintage guitar, but I need to bond with it first.
Right.
And to make sure that it's going to be worth that kind of money to me. But as everybody in the chat knows, I have a severe weakness for tellies. And there's a telly that I don't have that I really, truly, truly want to have.
A smelly telly?
No. I want to have a George Harrison Rosewood telly.
Oh, yeah. I put my hands on a bunch of them.
Yeah. And so
yeah.
I know it's going to be heavier. I get it. Heavier guitars don't bother me. But that's one that's in the back of my mind that I really, truly want. And I figure maybe a Fender Deluxe amp to go with it.
Wow. Yeah. You could get even the hand-wired, crazy nice one.
And Ferd Burful says, by the way, Seth, he loves that black and blue strap behind you.
Thanks. The sparkle job. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's active pickups. Bartolini, single, but active. And they are unbelievable screamers. It's really a high gain shredder guitar. It's been plecked. I left the black polycarbonate nut because of the look. It looks good, plays good. It's all lubed up and everything. Yeah, but you know what? That's the thing. The guitar market right now is weird. Like prices have kind of stabilized, and like they're not flying off the shelves. And over the course of the guitar-demic, there are so many guitar companies that were also created, and there's a lot more just people out there that are taking, because there's only so many people that are going to buy something other than a Fender or a Gibson. And it's great, and it's tough. It's great if people just stop buying. I'm going to say Fenders. I'm going to say we can still buy Gibsons for now because, I don't know, Fenders sold enough guitars. If you buy one, just don't buy one that's brand new.
Yeah.
It's enough already. You're done. It's over. Stop it. No more.
Oh, you're hilarious. So
I know it's like stopping a whole industry, and there's a lot of people that would have to go get other jobs, but they've made enough guitars already.
Let's do with that. Look at Seth getting rid of the competition. That's what that is.
It's not even competition. I'm just saying that, like, at some point, what's the point where you graduate yourself, right? Leo died. He graduated. Mm-hmm. He's done. He's good, dude. He would probably be sick.
Oh, that's good. All right, so a couple things. Guitar Man 45. He's also actively looking for Firebird that's less than $5K.
Nice.
I dig that. And Ryan has added into the mystery of Ben's box. And he says, Ben Coombs, you got a box? Must not have been from UPS. So, you got to love it.
In the box. What's in the box? You don't know what's in the mother effing box.
I love it.
That's the theme song for the box thing.
There you go. And Wayne McConnell has come into the chat at 11:38, and I'm just getting to it now. Welcome, brother. Welcome. And Symmetry is in the chat as well. Hello there, buddy. How you doing, Trev?
Dude.
Let's see. And then a bunch of people saying hi to each other. And Lucas of L&M Guitar Corners in the chat. Hello, buddy. And he says, Martin, will you reinvest the Baja money if you decide to part ways, or put it aside for the 338, 335 backup? Interesting question there, yeah.
Now, so I love how the introspective people have started to do the guitar safari algebra, which I never meant to bring into anybody's life. But people are like, well, if you take Epiphone minus Gibson plus Fender amp, you might equal Kiesel. So,
and an update from Ryan Hall. It is going to be his mom's birthday on Friday. She's going to be 82 years young. 82 years young.
Same age as my mother-in-law. That's awesome, dude. Like 81 turning 82. I love that. And I love that he's hanging out with her and over there being family, because that's what it's about. Definitely. Even when they are a total pain in the ass and say stuff like, anyway, I don't want to get too personal of that, but they say annoying stuff. You're like, what the hell?
Definitely. Well,
I love you.
Lucas has a question. He kind of came in a little bit late. So, Lucas, you have $5,000 to buy whatever you want. What you already have is yours. If you have it, you have it. So this is on what would you get now? What would you get now?
Could be one guitar, could be 5 guitars, it could be 50. I think the math is actually 50 Squires. Because 500 of them would be $10 Squires. That wouldn't work out, right? So 50 Squires you could probably get.
And Martin was helping us out in the chat because I'm so far behind in the chat. And he tells Lucas you can get, he basically doing what I just said. And so Lucas came back with probably a fancy ass PRS.
Oh, I have seen some PR. Has anybody seen the PRSs that look a little bit like a violin because they're like that deep, and they're a hollow body. They're when you open up the case, it just screams expensive. Like anybody who ever dropped one off was like obviously had hella money, and you open it up and you're like, whoa, they're at least $10,000 each. Anybody seen those or played those? Have you seen one?
Not to put my hands on one. Not to put my hands on one.
They're few and far in between. They're like the private reserve custom, whatever, $10,000. That was something that was really great about working at Guitar Works. So you get to see and put your hands on all that stuff.
Definitely.
Like play, and work on it. And you get to see the quality, which was just like, it leads you to realize like everything's kind of the same quality up into a certain point, and there's levels up to the top, but like the separation of $20,000 and $4,000 is not what you might think it really is.
And I want to welcome into the chat Music Therapy Labs, whose show is coming on right after us in 7 minutes. Go ahead, pop in his link in the chat for y'all to follow over there when you're ready to go.
Hey, Laz, you are local to me, I think, right? You're San Francisco, so let's hook up. Let's link up. Let's come over. I'll bring a bunch of guitars over, and we'll do a tone test with we got a bunch of cool amps from what I can see, and we'll bring some Presleys over and have a Presley tone night.
Yeah.
And
well, he's been wanting to get together with you. He's been saying that on his show. So you guys need to hook up.
It's SethPresley@gmail.com. Anybody else too? I don't care. And then 323-404-3430. Call me up, yo.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and my friends at L&M Guitar Corner have an announcement to make. They're going to have their monthly live hang this Thursday, so stay tuned and look out for that to go ahead and pop up into your feeds, right? And if you have not subbed to L&M Guitar Corner, you need to go check these guys out.
Be there, you should.
And I'm sorry for anyone that I have missed in the chat. This has been such a great topic, and everybody adding in, and you guys are just fantastic. And so, Laz, basically our topic today, Laz, was you got $5K that we're giving you. What are you going to spend it on? And what you already have doesn't matter. To that, you can add to that rig with what you're going to buy. So you can have your cake and eat it too.
Satisfied with your tone that you have right now, and you've had a significant life expense, you can spend our imaginary $5,000 on that. But that's if you got your tone. I think Laz has his tone because he's got a bunch of stuff figured out. Every time I heard him play, it sounds really good.
He does have a good sound on his show, and so it's a lot of fun to watch the show.
Watching Ben dial his tone, because so quickly he'll pick up a guitar and it's like not quite there, and he'll recognize it, and within 15 seconds he goes down to the pedal board and it's click clack click boom boom boom, and he's just like, he does the algebra happens, the guitar algebra. If they would have given us algebra questions that were like, tone plus reverb equals, what, if they would have made algebra apply to me in that way, I might have aced it. But
right. Yeah, if they would have done that, that would have been cool. All right, so we're coming up on 4 minutes left, and so what would you guys like to see next week? What would you like us all to talk about as a community next week? Any ideas? You're welcome, Martin.
My ideas come at 5 o'clock at Ben's show, along with the gummies.
There you go.
And then we get the creative going, and we're like, what should we do? Should we get I really did enjoy this imaginary 5K. Maybe next week it's just an imaginary 10. No, I'm kidding. We'll do that in like 6 months.
And I know you can't see it today in the chat, but Ben just said, thank you, Seth, for that, talking about him dialing his tone. And we dropped it. And we have dropped the link for L&M Guitar Corner's channel in the chat. And they thanked us for that as well.
Go to my channel and smash that unsubscribe.
Go to his channel and sub him out of spite, folks. I'm telling you.
Totally.
We gotta go ahead and get even on that.
It's so funny. It's not even a thing. Like I think any video that I have is not up there for. YouTube doesn't. I'm not in their algorithm. Let's just say they're not shooting them out there, so it's fine.
Oh, well, Octopus Ears is coming to chat. He's waking up, and I'm sure he'll be joining everybody else over at Laz's show here in a bit.
And then the replay. I'm telling you, you gotta just do the replay if you came in late, because why? The replay is so much funnier. These assholes can't be funny live. Come on, Sherman. Jeez.
All right, and so of course, join Laz over there, and because I'm sure it is going to be his shows have been getting better and better and better on Sundays. He's really getting to do what he wants to do with his channel there, and so I do appreciate that. And I've been enjoying it, and I think the rest of you should as well.
Music truly is therapy. I think part of the reason why maybe I feel a little bit better, other than the vacation, is that in the last week I went out twice and experienced live music. That was my friend playing guitar. They were amazing, and that brought new energy into me and my soul. And even though you've got other stresses going on in your life, it helps to balance it. So I'm just thankful to all the people that were out there doing the hard work of playing the music, setting up the equipment, driving to the venues, doing everything that it takes to bring that to us. And thankful for our community for showing up today and just chatting about what we would dream about with $5,000. So fun.
And so, yeah, and we appreciate everybody coming in and you making this show a success and joining us all the time. We really, truly appreciate that. We'll be back next week with another topic. And there's one more thing that I'd like to share with everybody before we sign off.
Oh, yeah, the awesomeness. Yes.
And so it's been no secret
so
that
cool.
it's been a while since I've put out a video. And I've had some family visit and some other things going on. But we've also relocated my workshop to the garage. And so here you see the current project in progress. I am sanding down. I've been sanding down the Warlock in order to go ahead and fabric top it. It is 105 degrees out there. And so I've been losing a little bit of weight. It's awesome. And so we'll be having videos coming up here really soon.
Amazing.
So that's the new headquarters out there. Yeah.
And that's come a long way. People didn't see it. It's hard when they don't see the very beginning and see where it's come. That's really cool, dude.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and unsolo that. And
we really appreciate you guys. And next week, come on and hang out. Bring your coffee. Right? Mm-hmm. And come hang out with us, man.
Yep. And until next week, play your guitars. And thank you, Octopus Sears. Appreciate that, buddy. All right. Have a good one. Go raid Laz's channel.
It was a good hair day today. It was amazing.
Oh, for someone.
Wow. I have to go out.